We are live and on the air. What's going on, guys? It's me, Blake Morse, your humble Week in Geek host. Joining me today for the second ever episode of Week in Geek Roundtable is Mr. Robert Workman. How you doing?
Good. I'm binging like a man that binds on a crime spree.
Excellent.
But looking better at it.
Beautiful. And of course, my hetero life mate, Bobby Venom.
Yo,
Joining us as always.
Happy Memorial Day to you all. You know, celebrate Captain America, celebrate soldiers who have died for us,
served us.
Also celebrate dead consoles.
Yes. Today, as many of you are aware, is our second week of broadcasting every day here on Week in Geek with new shows. So this is the second ever episode of Week in Geek Roundtable where we take a hot topic or something stupid and we just talk about it for the entire episode. Fortunately, we have something interesting to talk about this week in the form of the new consoles. The next gen has been announced. The PS4 and the Xbox One. So now it's time for the throwdown. Xbox One versus PS4. Obviously, we don't have information on everything about these new consoles, but based off of what we know, it's time to take a look, compare the two, and see who we think is coming out on top. All right, so let's start fresh since the Xbox One conference was just last week, and it's still ripe in our minds. Let's start there. So Xbox One, as you know, came out, and it was a lot of TV and entertainment and like multimedia stuff.
But to be fair, Microsoft did clarify that. They said this presentation was to show off the system and its features, and the games would come at E3. I think that a lot of people were peeved because no games were shown, but Microsoft made it clear. The games will come in, 14 days when E3 happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gaming console. We all know it, but yeah, they're just so it's just initially to be like, oh, this is all the other cool stuff that it's going to do. But do you think... go ahead, Bobby.
In contrast to the PS4 stream where they talked a lot about games, they didn't show any hardware at all. So it's almost it's a good contrast to what PlayStation did, because really all we saw was a controller then and there. All we've really been revealed was like the fans on the side of a PS4, and Xbox showed a lot more about. We already know it's going to play games, and we already know it's going to play high-end next-gen games. Now they're showing way more than that. Both are going to be able to play high next-generation games. So I personally do think... I'm not a big fan of the Xbox One so far, what they've showed, but I do feel they actually showed way more than what the PS4 did.
Yeah, and plus they actually showed a system. You know, that little thing we're actually going to be playing on, because I don't know how much dang shelf space I need to save for the PlayStation 4. I know the Xbox One is like big, but the PlayStation 4, we have no idea. It could be...
I might need a new table for the Xbox One.
Yeah, I know, right?
God.
Yeah, it looks kind of clunky. It doesn't look smooth or streamlined or...
I mean, it looks smooth and streamlined, but it looks like a cable box.
Yeah.
It really does. It really does. It looks like a cable box from 1995.
I know, right? It looks like one of those big ones. This is the digital age.
Yeah, I don't know about the design, but yeah, I'll give it up for Xbox for actually being like, look, here's the console. Here you go. But do you really think it was like a good idea to show a gaming console and not really show the games for it first? Don't you think like a lot of those features aren't necessarily what people want to see?
Well, the presentation, you got to keep in mind, was for a general audience. Like I said, the games are being saved for E3, and that's where the hardcore people are going to come to appreciate it. This presentation, from what it sounds like they wanted to do, they want to just tell everybody, here's the next level of what we're going to include in our console. Because, the Netflix apps, the YouTube apps, I mean, those are really popular on Xbox 360 too, not just games. So they knew they had to cover a lot of bases with their presentation. And that, I think, is what's peeving off a lot of gamers. Like, what about us? Well, I mean, they did reveal Forza 5. They did reveal Call of Duty Ghosts, which actually does look pretty impressive for, the 19th Call of Duty game?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of...
Well,
It's just a matter of they tried to balance everything out, but they said, yeah, we're going to show off more games in a couple of weeks. So there's still enough to get excited about, guys. This is just the beginning.
yeah.
I mean, we're already pretty sure that games like Battlefield 4 is going to be out for that. Watch Dogs is going to come out for
Halo,
that.
Assassin's Creed.
3.
Halo 5.
There's a lot of things that are going to come out for there. There's probably going to be a new Gears of War. What they did was great for marketing. It's got you hyped about it. It has a lot of people talking. It has even bad publicity is still publicity. People that are saying, "Oh, they didn't show games," it makes you speculate on what a lot of the games are. I feel like the PlayStation 4 press conference, if we're comparing press conference, even though they showed more games, they didn't show much more, and that it felt a little flat. That the Xbox, there's more controversy in their presentation than the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 played it more safe, while Xbox threw it out there, and controversy equals blog posts, equals people talking about it, equals people tweeting about it. So they're generating, I feel, going into E3, there's more speculation, there's more people talking about what could the Xbox One
possibly
be, what could the games be. So there's more talk about it. So I feel they're playing dangerous, but it's better. There's more people talking about the Xbox One right now than the PlayStation 4.
But by the same token, not all of that talk is toward the goodness of it. There's all this discussion about what Microsoft didn't confirm, like could you play used games? Do you have to pay a fee to play it on someone else's system, which is a huge concern.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like sharing a game you just picked up. Oh, I got to bring over NBA 2K14 or whatever. You know, and
they clarified that. They did clarify that. And obviously, like, they're not going to screw over GameStop because GameStop makes them tons of money. And as much as, you know, first market might be great for like developers and stuff like that. Like, they're not going to screw over a big partner like GameStop or the secondary market to the point where like there isn't one. I think it's going to be a lot similar to what it is like this generation, you know. EA said they're going to stop doing their passport codes.
The online pass.
Yeah, and I think the reason that they're going to stop doing that is because all that stuff is just going to be mandatory via the consoles themselves. Like, those codes will be put there by Microsoft and Sony and not by the companies, and like they'll bear the brunt of it, like because what are people going to do to them, right? Like, not buy their consoles.
Well, I mean, there's another factor we have to consider here. It's not just about the big budget games, it's also about the independent game scene, and we know for the longest time Microsoft has kind of given them the shaft. I mean, there are a few developers that stick by them, like Twisted Pixel, the Behemoth, you know, there are people who stick by them, but then you got like Sony's like, oh, you know, we love indie games, we're going to open up this huge indie game channel for PS4, we got an indie pub fund and everything like that. Microsoft didn't really touch on that, so at E3, I'm hoping... Well, I mean, apparently you can't self-publish your games, but I hope Microsoft has some sort of program similar to what they did with their XNA, in which they set up something where indie developers can show off their wares and not just have like this little dedicated indie games channel. You know, make it mainstream, because indie gaming has picked up a long ways since like a few years ago.
Yeah,
it really
no, it